Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the simple man of the simple brand, and my name is Noah Foster. Due to the events that have transpired, I would like to encourage you all to please consider the incredible amount of time that we'll be doing the best tonight for our own entertainment in a level of competition and showcasing. Whether you choose to watch this show or even go along with the watch along event tonight, I only wish to encourage you to just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling too. Thank you.
The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
Online entertainment.
NoDQ.com.
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 The people I know more about me know this. I am just a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! Whether it's the NoDQ Galaxy, the Jeff Meacham Network, the AEW crew, Indie Force, or anything related to For the Win Productions, the gears of wrestling keep on turning, and we are here to give our thoughts, previews, and predictions. Good day to you all, and welcome to our panel for this week's Simply Predicting. After one of the most incredible weekends in the history of the professional wrestling industry, and AEW went all in London at Wembley Stadium, setting an all-time attendance record, we now look towards the fallout, the aftermath, and the riots that may pursue. And so much more might come ahead too, as we simply predict AEW All Out once again from Chicago, the Windy City. Are the winds of change finally in full effect? Let's go ahead and talk about it, shall we? Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Simple Man's Brand. You know what this is, for I am the Simple Man of the Simple Brand and the voice of the JMN. And my name is Noah Foster, coming to you from the Simple Man Studios. I guess you could call this the All Elite Control Center. For those that are tuning in, thank you once again. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. And if you can, please super chat my friend at Casting Studios, JJ Williams, as I wish to bring you a positive outlook in professional wrestling every time, too. Shout out to Daniel in the chat with a $5 super chat. I know JJ appreciates that. I'm simply predicting that AEW All Out will be an empty arena tonight. Tony Khan fired the wrong wrestler. And again, for folks that want to get our conversation, our take, personal, professional, whatever you want to make of it, in ad nauseum, after the incredible work of research that the Renegade JJ Williams put in, please go and check out last night's open mic night. Daniel, again, we will truly see the aftermath of Tony Khan's action. At the end of the day, nobody, once again, as we close the bubble on this from last year, nobody was right since last year, but it all falls on the highest power not taking the corrective action at the time, and that is Tony Khan. You'll only get so many chances to try and correct the past and build a brighter future. We'll see what happens with the morale, the showcase, and honestly, the business of AEW starting tonight and for the days coming forward. But I thank you, Daniel, for that comment. So without further ado, folks, yes, I'm rolling solo here, and I would like to encourage you all to please stay tuned for me, JJ, James, potentially all three of us together once again, giving you our own live watch on event tonight for AEW All Out. Let's go ahead and get right into it, as we have quite a stacked card here, and it looks like Tony Khan has added a few more matches for the Zero, as he usually does. So here's a quick snapshot of what you can stay tuned for tonight. It is a Ring of Honor title showcasing. We got a couple of grudge bouts. We got a couple of AEW championships on the line, and there is also an over-budget casino battle royal, where the winner will get $50,000 for their charity. A very noble cause, I would say, for a competitor that goes across the field, as we all try each and every day to thrive, to survive, to support one another. As we always like to encourage here, respect one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. I want to give a shout out to James Heber, which I know has definitely went in very deep and opened up his heart last night to the entire Judgment Mojamia. James, we love you, brother. Please take care of yourself. Do what's best for you. All right. So again, folks, we are going to talk briefly here about AEW All Out, the pay-per-view that, of course, is available across Bleacher Report and other pay-per-view providers internationally. And again, the Judgment Media will keep you covered tonight. I believe we're going to go live at 6:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as the 0 hour is available across all AEW social media platforms for free and starts 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's go ahead and talk about this match that was just made, and we will truly see ain't he great, because once again, that's Double J. That is JEFFJARRETT pursuing tag team championships of sort in All Elite Wrestling. This time alongside not only Jay Lethal, but the one in a billion, Satnam Singh. And in the corner will be Karen Jarrett and Sanjay Dutt taking on the Acclaim and Daddy Ass with the bad as a basketball, Chicago's own Dennis Rodman. What the hell is this? I did not think I was going to call a match like this 2023. All right, so simply put, let's be honest here, folks. The Acclaim won the titles against the House of Black, of course, as we saw at All In tribute to one fall of Wyndham Rotunda. An incredible match as Billy Gunn, I would say this is his final run. I don't think it's going to abruptly end. As we saw last night in Collision, they successfully defended against the formerly known Jericho Appreciation Society, the pinnacle of sports entertainment. Shout out, of course, by the way, to the Renegade, Cassidy 18 Studios. Appreciate you, brother. I'll see you for the 0 hour tonight. And please, folks, follow Cassidy 18 Studios across social media platforms. Become a member today. As I look at the poll here, shout out to the 54 of you that put in your predictions, including but not limited to King Kieta, Dwayne Atkinson, Kyle, Steve-O, Kimberly, Chumbawamba. I love that name. Jordan Johns, Big G, always happy to be here. JJ, of course, James, Polo Mike, Zero, Nikos, Shungosaku, MJF, Scarp, Gina, the Wrestling Encyclopedia, Case Gallagher. Appreciate all of you. And right now, it does seem like everybody is unanimous, and I'm sure there will be scissors in the chat later tonight, because we all can say that everyone loves the Acclaim, and I think they're going to retain. But you know what? It is interesting considering how much Jeff Jarrett has put himself in the forefront of multiple person affairs for tag team championships. And after falling short against the Acclaim twice, the definition of insanity is repeating the same result and hoping for a different outcome. I don't think it's going to happen here. And again, Daniel, as the run just started after the incredible run by the House of Black, 25 weeks worth, it is one of those things now that the Acclaim are basically saying the Trios division who will step up and take the straps. We all know in rock, paper, scissors, of course, rock beats scissors. But what sort of rock can you put against the Acclaim? Iron Savages? Maybe, but not this soon. So I think this is a pretty safe bet that we all believe the Acclaim will retain. Simple as that. Before I continue, I just want to point out there has been no known participant list so far for the Over the Budget Battle Royal. All that is known is the winner of that contest will receive $50,000 to give to a charity of their choice. So good luck to everybody involved, and may the most smart individual win. Because in a Battle Royal, you don't have to be the strongest, you don't have to be the quickest, you just have to be the most resourceful and survive the field. Survival of the smartest, or hide underneath the ring. Just saying. Just a thought. I mean, we've seen it before, right? Just a thought. As we continue for the 0 hour, there is one more match officially known with a graphic, and it is a women's showcase. And I think it could have Ring of Honor title implications, if you ask me. As we have the current forever champion of Ring of Honor, the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, Athena, tagging alongside Mercedes Martinez, who she took the title from last year, by the way, at Final Battle, and her most recent opponent for her defense, Diamante. And that little fourth person in the graphic is now her minion, she calls it, Billy Starks. And while Billy Starks has not challenged Athena for the title, these two did face each other one-on-one during the Owen, where Athena got the win. And most recently, Athena and Billy Starks tagged alongside each other in Ring of Honor to get the Battle of the Renegades. I almost wonder, is Athena trying to protect potential competition? Since he's beating everybody and demands that people step up or get step out. But I digress. Speaking of people that step up, we, of course, on the other side have Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue, who are undefeated in a tag team action, but this time they're tagging alongside a third and the former AEW Women's World Champion, Hikaru Shida. And of course, Willow Nightingale tested Athena to her limits and beyond the most recent pay-per-view, Death Before Dishonor, while Sky Blue lost to Athena earlier this year in February. And of course, Mercedes Martinez also had the previous victory over both Hikaru Shida and Willow Nightingale. Mercedes, however, has not met Sky Blue, which I find kind of interesting to say the least. So out of this match, what can you expect? What could you hope for? What should be considered? Could we get potentially the next challenger towards Athena's Ring of Honor Women's World Championship? Could we potentially see maybe a bit more continued momentum towards this women's tag team of Willow Nightingale and Sky Blue? Athena asked Diamante to try and do something different. Well, I guess being something different means tagging alongside Mercedes Martinez, where they've gotten the better of Willow and Chris Statler a couple of times, and they also said there still is unfinished business. The most out of realm aspect here is Hikaru Shida, but she has never faced Athena, nor has never been Ring of Honor Women's Champion. Why Athena does have a previous win over Joshi Pro Miya Yamashita, the girl with the pink strike, I do think here you could potentially see Willow, Shida, and Sky Blue get the win here tonight. You also got to consider that Sky Blue is from Chicago. And usually when she's at home, she doesn't lose. Now, truth be told, Sky Blue did get wiped out by Anna Jay and Taya Valkyrie post-match, but Sky Blue still got the win on Rampage. I think it's going to be a win for the good people here because, again, Sky Blue will have strong momentum as a tag team, and Hikaru Shida needs a bounce back, especially after what happened last night on Collision. And we're starting to see maybe some subtle tension building with Shida and the Doctor, maybe something to come. But personally, I think overall, I am definitely going to go with Hikaru Shida, Athena, and, Hikaru Shida, Willow Nightingale, and Sky Blue. And it looks like a majority of you also agree here. 43 out of the 53 of you. Although I do see a few people going alongside Athena, Mercedes, and Diamante. I think those three are on the verge of combusting, especially because Athena has beaten both previously. Just saying. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of your thoughts here in the chat. Whoever wins in this battle royale, give the money to JoJo and her kids as a thank you for Bray Wyatt with Matunda. I love that idea. I would love to see that. And we all know how many talents heavily were influenced by the former Bray Wyatt with Matunda to the point it was an impromptu Dynamite. And let's see what else we got here. Cast at 18 Studios. Gotta get Sky Blue a big moment in Chicago, especially since a different Chicago favorite is no longer with the company. Check out last night's Might Night for more on that. T-Plug, and I agree. 110%. And Dale also saying Willow, Shida, and Sky Blue for the win. So I think the 0 hour will be a nice way to ease us into tonight's very stacked card, to say the least, of kind of a mix of Ring of Honor showcasing, maybe a tease of things to come, considering the next Raw pay-per-view I think is going to be Final Battle because they usually do 3 pay-per-views a year. So again, I think this is a nice way of really bringing people aware to both sides underneath the Tony Khan regime of business, however you want to look at it. Let's go ahead and get right into the main card. And since we're talking about Ring of Honor, why do we stick with that side of things? As we learned, it will be MJF and Adam Cole defending the newly won Ring of Honor. I almost botched it again. Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships against the winners of Friday night's Battle Royale. And that was Dark Order, Alex Reynolds and John Silver. Now, for what it's worth, Alex Reynolds and John Silver are previous tag team champions for 3 different promotions, formerly known as the Beaver Boys. Take that for what you will. In CCW. And this will be their 4th chance going after some sort of multi-person gold. 2 previous attempts at the AEW were tag team championships. They fell short, trios championships. And 1 previous attempt at the AEW were tag team championships. Fell short. Since Dark Order is trying to prove something, that they can be aggressive, they can get the job done, Dark Order does matter, according to Evil Uno, who I'm sure will be in their corner, after winning that fight without honor, for this honor. On paper, I would like to see them get the moment, but I still think the best friends deserve the moment more. But speaking of best friends, why John Silver and Alex Reynolds question the friendship of MJF and Adam Cole, right now I don't think there's anything to question about. I think MJF and Adam Cole are going to retain here after beating Aussie Open with a double clothesline in the 0 hour at All In. Now they're on the main card of All Out defending these championships. And besides, Adam Cole's got bigger fish to fry. He's got to worry about the diminishing friendship with him and Roderick Strong and how the Kingdom might be preying on their Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. Just saying. Not to mention MJF, he has prepared for his next Triple B AEW Championship defense, which will not be at this pay-per-view, but will be at Grand Slam, which we will cover. And so far, we know nothing about the 8-man in the tournament. While Roderick Strong has claimed his spot, there still has been no official graphic because we don't know the state of his neck. Something's for sure, heartache is to come for somebody towards the end of this, and that is undisputed. And I definitely have the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions retaining MJF and Adam Cole, baby. Let's go ahead and see what you guys say about that. Daniel here, MJF and Adam Cole for the win, but I think we'll get the setup for the Kingdom to be the next in line for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships at Final Battle or Full Gear. A very astute point, Daniel, because again, the OGK have been pursuing the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships since Ring of Honor's resurgence. And so far, I've come up short on the multiple encounters, even trying to influence the likes of Stokely Halfway and Jerry Lynn. And looking at the poll right now, almost everybody believes that Better Than You Baby will retain, but apparently 3 people chose to join the Dark Order and chose Alex Reynolds and John Silver. With the fact we didn't get a big angle last night at Payback, I could see people maybe holding out for an angle here, but I don't think they're going to pull the plug yet on the bromance that has ruled the summer. And you believe, Daniel, that Roderick Strong will reveal his neck fully healed? Well, I guess only time will truly tell. Again, we'll have to wait and see. So, like anything else, folks, stay tuned. All right. I'm going to try and mix it up a little bit here between the Ring of Honor showcasing and the AEW showcasing. And since we're talking about title matches, let's switch things up to a multi-person affair. Take whatever side you will. Take whatever action you want. It is what it is on paper. Now, whether it's too sweet, that's your own verdict. Because this is still going on. 8-man tag. As FTR and the Young Bucks, who gave one of the best tag team title matches this year, concluding their 7-year trilogy at All In, when FTR proved why they are the top guys of the tag team division, they will coexist, hopefully, for this match to take on the united unit of Bullet Club Gold, who has been working on all cylinders. So the bottom line, is it guns up or is it top guys too sweet? Again, we saw the 58-minute classic 2 out of 3 falls that FTR had with Rock Hard, Juice Robinson, and Jay White a few weeks ago on Collision. And FTR was able to retain the gold. The Young Bucks, of course, no strangers to the As Boys, of course, previously beat them in tag team action. And, of course, FTR beat the As Boys to get back not only the AEW World Tag Team Championships, but basically save their careers in All Elite Wrestling. And as we saw at All In 6-man tag team action, it was Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Konosuke Takeshita that got the better of the elites, Kenny Omega, Heyman Page, and the Golden Star, Kota Ibushi. With this idea of respect and how far does it go when you don't have the prize, and how much people might want to see a rematch of some sort of groups out of these. Do you want to see FTR versus Bullet Club Gold more? Do you want to see the Young Bucks versus FTR once again? Do you want to see the Young Bucks maybe face Bullet Club Gold this time, where they've never faced Brock Hart, Juice Robinson, and Jay White in the standard tag team affair? Combustible elements aside, and the audience, I'm sure, I do think because of what has happened recently, especially with the fact that Switchblade Jay White just beat Dax Harwood in a great main event on Collision, that FTR is going to get the win here. And the heat is going to be on, unfortunately, Dax Harwood, who right now is just part of the entire party despite other circumstances. I think FTR and the Young Bucks are going to get the win because I do think the As Boys right now are the weakest links in Bullet Club Gold. And I don't think they just are going to get in the moment at All Out. It's one of those matches that really you don't want to think about, but still something else might come from it. So I'm going to say FTR and the Young Bucks get the win here. And this is Daniel also scouting Grand Slam. Again, if that is the case, I could see that. And Adam Cole, he might literally be in the court of MJF and be conflicted, especially if MJF seeks for help. You might be telling the story of September, Daniel, but again, we have to see what happens in a few hours. And also his point, I hate to say it, Bullet Club Gold for the win via interference. Wait, interference? What interference? You got all the Bullet Club Gold. Oh, you're thinking somebody else might interfere on their behalf. Well, considering there's another individual that's trying to take the elites out of All Elite Wrestling, and I still don't know the full extent of his family, you very well could be onto something, Daniel, but we'll have to wait and see. As far as what you all say here in the poll, very split decision, but the majority of you are going with FTR and the Young Bucks over Bullet Club Gold, 34-21. So, again, at this point, I feel like people are just waiting to see if Switchblade Jay White can actually claim gold and whether he wants to get singles gold or tag team gold, where more so he's been focused and showcased in a tag team capacity, yet he is undefeated right now as a singles competitor in All Elite Wrestling. It's just something to think about. And as far as a new member at Bullet Club Gold, who would you add at this point? Somebody else from outside? I mean, AEW pay-per-views do usually have debuts, do usually have newcomers, and we have seen surprises before. So, again, I guess anything's possible. I know Kenta said the GTS is back. Damn. I know we got the ABC still with the other side of Bullet Club and Impact Wrestling, but Ace Austin and Chris Berry did use the role with Switchblade Jay White. So, again, we don't know what extent Jay White's reach goes when it comes to how much of an arsenal he can grow. But there's also a lot of young, promising talent that can really use the opportunity. You think about people like Cole Carter. You think about people like Lee Johnson. Hell, you think about a big dude like Nick Camarado, which I still don't know is truly part of QTV, just to name a few. And we saw what happened most recently with AR Fox, who right now, again, is he still trying to find his way in the good graces of Darby Allin or find a new path towards success? You tell me. Again, we'll have to wait and see. I do think there's more of this match than just the 8-man on paper, though. And I do think that somebody else might actually contribute to the end decision. That much I will give you. All right. As we move on from there, let's go ahead and switch gears back to Ring of Honor and talk about Singles Gold. As the self-proclaimed king of television, Samoa Joe defends the Ring of Honor World Television Championship against, he calls himself the baddest champion in Ring of Honor history, looking for that former glory, Shane Taylor. For those of you that don't know, Samoa Joe, of course, has held the Ring of Honor Television Championship since beating Minoru Suzuki last year in April. He currently has held this title now for, get this, and I can't believe this is accurate, 508 days across 13 successful defenses. While Shane Taylor is a previous Ring of Honor Television champion who beat Jeff Cobb, who was seemingly unstoppable under multi-person circumstances, and held that title for 218 days and 12 defenses. For me right here, this is just two big, mean men about to slap the daylights out of each other. But there's a lot of pride, particularly when it comes to Shane Taylor and retrieving that former glory. Why Samoa Joe right now, he basically is out to prove a point why, again, people that step up to me, you get crushed. And again, he has been absolutely dominant and has Stokely halfway, I'm pretty sure, in his pocket. It's one of those things to consider that we thought that Samoa Joe was going to take time off after his time, of course, and, of course, his role in Tristan Metal, but it doesn't seem like he's letting up the gas at all. Hell, you saw how excited, how much he gave at freaking All In that opener against the former employed CM Punk, and that was to set the pace for the night. And right now, Samoa Joe, Ring of Honor fits him to a T. I haven't seen Samoa Joe this comfortable since his days in TNA, if I'm perfectly honest with you. And with the aspect that, again, you still have Claudio Castagnoli, you still have Bryan Danielson. Hell, you might have Wheeler Yuta try and step up some point to him. And I'm pretty sure Don Castle still wants a piece of the Samoa submission machine after Stokely Hathaway played the difference maker at the For His Honor. I think Samoa Joe, though, will retain. And truth be told, Daniel, to your point, Ring of Honor championship matches of all capacities have ended previously in a draw. And this is a first time ever one-on-one encounter. These two have never met each other prior to this in any capacity. So honestly, your speculation is up in the air. Either way, though, I think Joe is going to muscle buster that man and still maintains his dominant hold as Ring of Honor television champion. Shout out to Everything Pro Wrestling. Hope you're doing well. Please follow the group folks here on YouTube and on Facebook. Good to see you. And let's go ahead and see what you all are saying here in the poll for this. I would say it's going to be honorable, but it could definitely become dishonorable in a hurry. 53 of the 55 of you now I see have picked Samoa Joe to still be your reigning dominant, self-professed king of television. 97% of you went with the champ retaining. Wow. So much for Cleveland's own Shane Taylor. Although JD Gritty, he might come into play here now that I think about it. And if Shane Taylor Promotions or the Workhorsemen work on Shane Taylor's behalf, then very well a numbers game could get the advantage of Samoa Joe, even though he would kill them later. Daniel saying Shane Taylor gives Samoa Joe a fight that pushes both to the limits. Well, if you look at Shane Taylor's previous work, where he's already fought alongside the workhorse, man, he's already been pushed to the limits by the likes of the last real man professional wrestling, Silas Young. You very well could be on point there. Again, honor is real, but also the fight is going to be real with these two. I can't wait for this knockout, drag down slugfest. Let's freaking go. All right. As we continue to work our way down this card, let's go ahead and talk about a different type of bout with two, what's the words Big E would use? Big meaty man slapping meat. I think that personifies this. As for the first time ever in AEW, one-on-one, two of the powerhouses of the company clash. As one seeks to write a chapter of redemption, the other one still looks for his own redemption. As he says, Powerhouse Hobbs, you will be the tool that I use to once again be redeemed, for I am gutless. But Powerhouse Hobbs, he breaks backs. This is going to be freaking good. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Miro. And the only thing these two have in common, they are both previous He and He champions. Powerhouse Hobbs, of course, for the title for 42 days across 4 defenses, while Miro held the title for 140 days across 8 successful defenses. And both these men are out to prove a point when it comes to who could be the dominant force, if not anywhere else, on Saturday Night Collision. The thing we got to consider here, though, is if QTV is once again going to play on behalf of Powerhouse Hobbs or cost him. Let's not forget, during the Owen, it was QT Marshall that was trying to play the difference maker. And at the end of the day, he cost his boy. If it wasn't for Harley Cameron coming in here and literally saving the damsel in distress, QT Marshall, I think QT would have had a whole lot more than just a broken back. And I still think that's to come ahead. Then again, you got Miro. You got this guy that right now has basically turned his back on everything. His God, his hot wife, quote unquote. He feels nothing. He is gutless. He also is undefeated since his return. But Powerhouse Hobbs has also been a dominant force on Collision. For me, it almost feels like a no-win situation. I'm a little bit worried about this match, but it really comes down to the angle. For me, Miro doesn't have an angle. And when he prophesies about the great battle to come, was this the great battle or is this a prelude to the great battle he was talking to a while back? I don't think this is Miro's entire itinerary, his entire MO. Why Powerhouse Hobbs, the one thing he needs to do is get away from QTV. I think Miro's going to get the win here, but I don't think he's going to put Powerhouse Hobbs to sleep. I think he's going to Masha kick him literally into incapacitation, and the ref might call for a stoppage. Because I think Powerhouse Hobbs will be better protected if his body gives away versus an actual pinfall or a verbal or physical tap out. So I think that Miro is going to make sure that this boss loses its health down to 0 and it's game over for Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm going with Miro. Let's go ahead and see what you all got here. And Daniel already saying that, hey, Shane Taylor might get a rematch of Final Battle. Again, if Ring of Honor has nothing in between that, Final Battle, how fitting. And that has been definitely the stage of big-time, first-time championship moments and comebacks. But also, you're saying here, as far as comeback goes, Miro wins. And you're also predicting that Will Hobbs and Miro will be a tag team soon. As one is used to try and be a footnote in redemption, the other one, the personification of redeeming, both redeem each other, working together. That's an interesting take. And Dale also saying here, and I think we may get Miro's wife CJ make her AEW debut. Okay, I'm just going to say this right now. The only way CJ Perry shows up is if Harley Cameron once again gives us a one-hit wonder on the mic, and CJ tells him to shut up! For those that remember, of course, her role back in WWE. And yes, folks, kayfabe, Miro and CJ, they are still together. But yeah, I think Miro's winning. Let's go ahead and see what you all got to say here about this Powerhouse grudge bout. Most of you are going with Miro 38-17, while 17 went with Powerhouse Hobbs. Again, what's the biggest thing we want out of this besides a quality wrestling match? We want to see QT Marshall get broken in half, right? I'm just saying. Is that too violent? Maybe. I don't care. Anyway, I'm looking forward to this match for what's it worth on paper. All right. Let's go ahead and switch gears now into tag team action with the last of our Ring of Honor showcasing. And I want you guys to consider one thing here. You have the Ring of Honor World Champion and the Ring of Honor Pure Champion. And then there's Wheeler Yuta. As we have, again, mutual respect, Eddie Kingston, the current NWW Strong Openweight Champion, and the Ring of Honor Pure Champion, Katsuyori Shibata, working together as a tag team, taking on the duo of the Ring of Honor World Champion, Claudio Castagnoli, and Blackpool Combat Club's own Wheeler Yuta. A couple things to consider here. Wheeler Yuta is a former two-time Ring of Honor Pure Champion after being schooled by Katsuyori Shibata back at Death Before Dishonor and has not gotten a rematch yet. Claudio Castagnoli, though, has literally said this is no longer a passion, this is a job. And until somebody is a better, harder, stronger, more dedicated worker than me, I will always be the Ring of Honor World Champion. Respect that or not, there is no respect shown between Claudio and Eddie Kingston. While Eddie Kingston has had the time of his life most recently, not only competing in the G1, but meeting his hero Kawada, and Claudio says he has lost all iota of respect for him and calls him weak. It is a battle of strong wills and strong style with pure wrestling founded in between. For me, I look at it like this. Wheeler Yuta right now has been the whipping boy in every feud, it seems. He needs some sort of momentum. Eddie Kingston is combustible emotionally. And the last time that someone got the better of Katsuyori Shibata was in tag team match, and it was Daniel Garcia. And of course, that led him to be part of that fatal four-way for Forbidden Door for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. That being said, Katsuyori Shibata so far has not used a single rope break in his Ring of Honor Pure Championship matches. Currently has been Ring of Honor Pure Champion now for 156 days across 5 successful defenses. While Claudio Castagnoli, of course, has been the Ring of Honor World Champion, not only defending successfully against Eddie Kingston back at the Supercard this year, he has held it now for 267 days across 9 successful defenses. For me, I look at it like this. The entire Blackpool Combat Club is on showcase, including one individual we'll talk about here shortly. And it could be their night, considering what happened at Stand Stampede. And why I still don't think Eddie Kingston has fixed face with Jon Moxley. I don't think that's on his mind anymore, nor should it be at this point. I look at the fact that Eddie Kingston believes that Claudio is never going to give him the rematch. That's why he just walked off the side of him. That's why he walked away. No disrespect. Still calls him a coward. While Katsuyori Shibata and Claudio, they have never confronted each other. And we have seen before, Ring of Honor Pure and World Champions literally collide one another in Double Jeopardy. And also, I think at one point, there was even somebody that was both the Pure and World Champion, but someone can check back Ring of Honor history. I feel like Wheeler Yuta could really get the win here out of nowhere. Really surprised with the moment, and this could set up the next Ring of Honor Pure Championship match. Looking at that element alone, and the fact that I think Eddie Kingston and Claudio Castagnoli are going to fight each other way to the back, I think that Wheeler Yuta is going to surprise us here and probably use a low blow because, again, that's proper Combat Club tactics. Win by enemies necessary through violence and behind the ref's back. Exploit the real Chief advantage. I think this is the way that Wheeler Yuta gets back to going after the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. So I'm actually going with Blackpool Combat Club here for the win. Because as Claudio says, he constantly gets beat down, but Wheeler Yuta doesn't stay down. He gets back up. Although I'm not sure how much those European uppercuts helped as a warm-up exercise ahead of this tag bout. But I'm going with Blackpool Combat Club here for the win. Let's go ahead and see what y'all guys say here in the chat. And Daniel with one other thought here for the previous match. I also think that if AEW wants to take the tag team championships off FTR, Miriam will have the ones who can do it. Well, Brian Cage and Big Bill were unable to. MJF and Adam Cole were unable to. Jay White and Juice Robinson was unable to. Maybe 2 powerhouses can actually find their own redemption and the way towards tag team championships. It's a very fair point. And as far as your point here, Dan, what you got to say about this match? Blackpool Combat Club for the win via help with Jon Moxley. Well, considering Jon Moxley will be in the main event in another first ever matchup with another chance to once again claim a championship, Blackpool Combat Club. And again, is the past finally buried between him and Eddie Kingston? I don't know. And one last thought here. I think Eddie Kingston will challenge for our World Championship at Final Battle. It might literally be the final battle with those two, then considering their bad blood been going since Shikara. Can Eddie Kingston finally become the Ring of Honor World Champion? Is that the big question right now in everybody's minds? Why people have been scouting the idea of MJF versus Eddie Kingston for the AEW World Championship. Now, personally, I don't think Eddie Kingston is going to be part of this 8-man bracket. We still don't know any competitor for it yet. But I do think Eddie Kingston does deserve to be a world champion some point. He definitely has shown the heart for it and the passion. Now, whether or not he's reliable really comes down to your own perspective of him, whether you worked with him or have just watched him. But this year alone, especially during the summer, in New Japan, he showed how dedicated he is. And that's why he is the NW Strong Openweight Champion. And let's see what we got here. One more fight, which will lead Eddie Kingston facing John Moxley for the AEW International Championship at Full Gear. Well, wouldn't it be the first time that John Moxley and Eddie Kingston compete over a title? They made events in Full Gear in 2020 for the AEW World Championship in an I Quit match. That ended with a barbed wire bulldog choke. Jesus Christ. Again, Eddie Kingston and John Moxley, the definition of the video game. Fight forever. Let's go ahead and see what y'all got to say about this Ring of Honor tag team bout here. Oh, wow. Pretty partial here. 56 to 43 percentage-wise. We got majority going with Eddie Kingston and Katsuyori Shibata. 31 to 24. So, again, despite what we think about this card being maybe a Ring of Honor showcase, hybrid Dynamite Rampage, there are some matches here that could give some compelling, polarizing results. And at the end of the day, you want that as a draw for you in your fandom of professional wrestling too. I think we could all appreciate that, you know? All right, let's go ahead and keep moving down this card here. Talk about Blackpool Combat Club. We will switch gears away from them and go to the women here, as it's the only women's match on this main card now on this pay-per-view. Damn it. As Chris Statlander looks to finally get her first win ever and continue her reign as the TBS champion against Ruby Soho of the Outcasts. And again, I do ask the question as far as the Outcasts go, is everything fine? Because I think Tony Storm and Saraya are on a friggin' path to combusting. But that being said, will they be here alongside Ruby Soho, or can she do it alone? So, story here. Ruby Soho and Chris Statlander, of course, first met each other in the inaugural TBS Championship Tournament. That was last year in December. Or excuse me, 2 years ago in December. Botch. And of course, it was Ruby Soho that got the win. Fast forward 2022, that same year, when it was Chris Statlander, where we thought that she became more than a woman and was going to headline and final the Owen. It was Ruby Soho that got the win and got booed out the damn building. To the point this year for the AEW Women's World Championship Triple Threat action, she turned her back on AEW and joined her friends in the Outcast and said that we are the ones that created this monster. Meanwhile, Chris Statlander, who was out for injury, defeated the undefeatable, it seemed, Jade Cargill, and has so far been on a tremendous run, undefeated in singles action as TBS champion, with 6 successful defenses across 98 days. For me, I look at it simply like this. There's 2 underlying stories. You have Chris Statlander going for that win, proving that she is more than a woman and finally shutting Ruby Soho up and proving who truly is that stupid bitch. Eat your heart out, Saraya. And you also have Ruby Soho, who's still to this day, looking for that one accolade in AEW. I don't think that she gets it here. I think Chris Statlander is going to continue her run here. If anyone's going to take Chris Statlander for the TBS Championship, it'll be returning Jade Cargill, channeling some Warner Bros. Media property, or maybe legit Layla Hirsch, where again, that was the last time we saw, before her injury, Chris Statlander in action on a pay-per-view. It was during the 0 hour too. And right now, legit Layla Hirsch is working her own way through the Ring of Honor Women's Division. And for Chris Statlander, she's even made this TBS Championship be the main event at times on Dynamite, including beating La Barra Loca, Taya Valkyrie. I think Chris Statlander has had an incredible comeback, and I think it's going to continue. And I do think right now Ruby Soho is once again going to be the runaway from this Outcast breakdown too. I think Tony Storm and Saraya will come in and try to help her, but I think that they're going to butt heads on plans to strap Ruby Soho and cost her. I have Chris Statlander retaining. All right, let's go ahead and see what you all got to say here in the chat. Chris Statlander, oh, that's lagging. Chris Statlander wins, facing Tony Storm, costs Ruby Soho the victory. It's like he was reading my mind. I think Ruby Soho and Saraya will be kicking out Tony Storm out of the Outcast. Well, it wouldn't be the first time that an actress didn't get the role and didn't get a callback either. Just saying. Making Tony Storm a babyface. Was Mary Monroe ever a babyface in her movie? Someone look that up for me. Because right now, all I'm seeing is distressed actress with a mental breakdown that throws shoes. Honestly, who throws a shoe? I'm just saying. Let's go ahead and see what y'all got to say about this TBS Championship match. A couple people still holding out for Ruby Soho, of course. Near area girl. Why majority of you are with Mama here, as she calls herself. Mama looking to spank Ruby Soho for the first time ever. 92% with a Chris Statlander. 51 out of the 55 of you. And honestly, I do think this is the easiest match to call on this card, besides MJF and Adam Cole. I'm just saying. Sorry, not sorry. It is what it is. Again, Impact Wrestling, the leaders of booking women's wrestling correctly. Respect, Gail Kim and Scott D'Amore. All right. Let's go ahead and switch gears up here now to what was newly christened last night on Collision as Ricka Starks, or excuse me, Absolute Ricka Starks was able to get the match, a strap match, no disqualification strap match against the Dragon. But not the Dragon he was thinking about. Jesse Davin, I bet you popped your pee. Dan, 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 dan. He's back! The American Dragon who beat Kazuchika Okada with a broken fucking arm at Forbidden Door via submission, not seen since 2015 against Shinsuke Nakamura. Yep, that crazy bastard. Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, goes one-on-one against Absolute Ricka Starks for the first time ever in a no disqualification strap match. Simply put, Ricky Starks, he is going to forcefully give in some respect at the lashing of a leather strap, courtesy of Bryan Danielson. Although Bryan Danielson might actually like this if he slapped across the chest. He's weird. But let's go ahead and look at this, shall we? Originally, Ricky Starks, of course, he has been on a tirade, a war against AEW. So much to the point he got suspended and became a manager. And now he's managing Big Bill. How you doing? After losing out for the Real World Championship, courtesy of Ricky Dragon Steamboat being special referee and whipping him like a government mule as much as he freaking could following that contest. Got suspended for 28 days without competing. So Bryan Danielson, a guy that's no stranger to those taking on the world. He also was previously involved in a strap match for those that know from WWE when he took on RIP, The Fiend Bray Wyatt at the Royal Rumble. Great match, by the way. I suggest you all go back and watch that on the Peacock. Peacock actually gives you something good. Who would have fucking? Meanwhile, Ricky Starks, he has been owning himself in this absolute heel persona. And I do think under these circumstances, he will still be demonstrated strong. It's not the first time, though, that Bryan Danielson has put younger talent over. May I remind you of Daniel Garcia and what happened there. And this is the first time ever one-on-one encounter. And to my knowledge, I don't think Ricky Starks has been involved in a strap match. With the combustible element and the extra enforcer insurance policy, 7 foot tall, Big Bill that will definitely be at ringside. And this is not 4 corners. It's just the strap can be used as a weapon. No disqualification. Pinfall submission wins. I do think Bryan Danielson coming back all of a sudden. I can't believe he's back, by the way, this soon. I think he is going to win. If last night was the night for the Judgment Day, I could very well see tonight being the night that Blackpool Combat Club proves how real they are and own and dominate All Elite Wrestling. And Bryan Danielson leads by example. Let's not forget, Blackpool Combat Club lost at Stadium Stampede. Pressure is on them because Bryan Danielson has not been involved with them in any sort of physical action since Anarchy in the Arena at Double or Nothing this year. And it was Blackpool Combat Club that won. Since then, Blackpool Combat Club, they lost at Blood and Guts. They lost Stadium Stampede. And once again, the American Dragon Bryan Danielson right now is out to prove a point. After being one of the greatest of all time, now he looks to humble absolute Ricky Starks the hard way. And we all know how much influence Ricky the Dragon Steamboat has had on the American Dragon. Nathan, good to see you. So I definitely got Bryan Danielson winning here. And Daniel apparently agrees too. Let's go ahead and see what y'all got to say here in the chat. A majority says yes, the American Dragon, 81.5%, while 10 people are going with Ricky Starks, 44-10. It would really shock me. But then again, I do wonder, did Bryan Danielson come back too soon? Was this an audible call? Just saying. It would kind of surprise me, though, if Ricky Starks did beat Bryan Danielson here, just coming back from injury. If Bryan Danielson was not coming back from an injury, I very well would have thought about this match differently. But I can't see Bryan Danielson losing this. Sorry. There's going to be an absolute ass whipping tonight at All Out, courtesy of the American Dragon. And Ricky Starks, it's going to be televised on pay-per-view worldwide. So good luck holding that down. All right. Let's go ahead and shift gears now back into championship action as we go towards the TNT Championship, where the TNT champion, the TNT champion, Luchasaurus, will defend the title against the former 2-time TNT champion, Darby Allin. as Christian Cage and Luchasaurus have been the self-proclaimed face of TNT since Collision's premiere June 17th, beating Wardlow, who has not been seen since. And since Luchasaurus has claimed the TNT Championship, he is now going into his third defense. Darby Allin, of course, two-time former TNT champion, 214 days, first run, 8 defenses after being the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, and his second defense went for 5 defenses before losing it to Samoa Joe. And right now, with everything Darby Allin's facing, the emotional turmoil, trying to mend bridges with AR Fox, with Nick Wayne, with trying to bury Swerve, who was literally buried in a coffin, seek and destroy. I do think Darby Allin's the guy to restore the prestige to the TNT Championship that's been brought to the hot potato title of this company. But that being said, Christian Cage has been on fire in this gimmick, working everybody, as his line says, and calling himself the self-proclaimed TNT champion now and forever with his right hand of destruction. I wonder if this actually helps elevate the TNT championship, because right now it has been a stranglehold. I kind of want to see Darby Allin win it back, but I also do wonder how soon might he lose it again. It's one of those things where if Darby Allin gets it back, while he's correct in his statement, can he back up what he says? And even though Luchasaurus has not been the champion, Christian Cage has made sure this TNT title has not been hot potatoed, hook or by crook. I feel with the fact that Darby Allin and Sting won at All Out, I don't think Darby Allin goes 2 for 2. I think that Luchasaurus will choke slam Darby Allin into oblivion, by the way, because we know that back is fucked up. And I think Christian Cage is going to make sure Darby Allin does not leave the TNT champion. The only way Darby Allin leaves the TNT championship, why he asked for Nick Wayne to be in the corner, is if Sting shows up. And the only thing that's for sure about Sting is, never mind. Either way, I got Christian Cage retaining, I got Luchasaurus retaining the TNT championship. Darby Allin will be our new TNT champion thanks to AR Fox and Nick Wayne. Well, I guess that would be a nice bow on this entire story. But again, does Nick Wayne forgive AR Fox based on what Darby Allin said? Will AR Fox show up? Will Swerve or the Mogul Embassy show up? Just saying, Christian Cage was buried back at Revolution by Jack Perry, and he's back and the face of TNT. Just saying. Darby Allin's got a lot more enemies than allies. Gotta go Luchasaurus for the win here because of that. Let's go ahead and see what y'all got to say about this match. A bit of a partisan decision. We got 17 with Darby Allin, while 38 believe Luchasaurus and Christian Cage will remain the face of TNT now and forever. Again, it's one of those matches that's not quite one-sided, but it does feel a bit lopsided, to say the least. All right. We got 2 matches left, and I think these are the 2 most important matches considering what could be ahead for the fall season and the individuals involved. So let's go ahead and get right into what I think are going to be your semi and main event. As Don Callis' MO with the Don Callis family, where he lost a nephew and gained a son, by God, looks to finally eliminate the cancer, he calls him, Kenny Omega, through the hands of Konosuke Takeshita. Let's go ahead and break this down. Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita go all the way back to DDT Pro in 2010. Under multiple singles and tag team occasion, it was Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, partner in Golden Lovers, and his other partner, part of the Golden Storm Riders, that got the better of Konosuke. It was Kenny Omega, though, with a ringing endorsement that encouraged Konosuke to come be a part of All Elite Wrestling, at one point tagging alongside with him. And even at one point, Konosuke wearing the very colors of the Golden Star under the influences of Don Callis. He has been that babyface that Cinnabon has absolutely loved until Don Callis turned his heart black. And we saw that come firsthand at Double or Nothing. Since Double or Nothing, not only Kenny Omega has been pinned by Wheeler Yuta, he lost the IWGP United States Championship to Will Ospreay, but his Golden Lovers and the Golden Elite did win back at Blood and Guts. We just saw recently, though, a week ago at All In, Konosuke got the surprise roll-up pin in the 6-man tag. But Konosuke Takeshita, this is his first big-time singles match on pay-per-view. And he hasn't had a singles win on pay-per-view yet. Considering we don't know what the future of Kenny Omega holds, considering the attack at Daly's Place, considering this 8-man tournament, where Kenny Omega could very well be a viable name. I think Konosuke needs this more. I think this match is very pinnacle for both Konosuke Takeshita and Kenny Omega's future. And why Kenny Omega's future is still very much All Elite. We don't know what that's going to include and who it's going to be alongside with. Meanwhile, we still don't know the full extent of Don Callis' family. We know that he currently has built an alliance with Will Ospreay, giving Chris Jericho's hand on a silver platter. He's been trying to influence Sammy Guevara, and of course, he calls his new nephew now Konosuke Takeshita, nicknamed literally the Future. It's one of those things where right now I can see the 5-time KOD openweight champ get the better of the cleaner, because I do think Kenny Omega not only will be working along the mixed action, but Don Callis will still be on his mind. At the end of the day, Kenny Omega does not want to get Konosuke Takeshita. He wants to get Don Callis. But to get to Don Callis, he has to go through Konosuke. And he might do anything by any means necessary to do so. I mean, hell, the guy took a Tiger Driver 91 when you thought he broke his fucking neck. Just saying. Kenny Omega's won big time on pay-per-view before, but he's also lost at All Out before. Remember, it was back in the first All Out that he lost to Pac via submission. And I don't think there's no love lost when it comes to Pac and Kenny Omega, why Pac is out right now with an injury. I think this is a longer saga to come. And it's the first time ever one-on-one matchup. I think something big needs to go down at All Out to really try and draw something from the show. I'm actually going against the grain and saying Konosuke Takeshita wins, courtesy of Don Callis, and possibly a screwdriver to the head. Let's not forget that. And Daniel apparently agrees with me, and I do think that he will get a mixed reaction, but I think it'll be more mutual because at the end of the day, based on everything we've seen and said, Kenny Omega's the one guy that was willing to resolve and everything and do what was best for All Elite Wrestling. There was others he might be in conjunction with. There was others that definitely put the fuel on the fire and didn't put it out. Now, will this fire burn always? I don't know. Either way, the best bout machine, I think it's going to get best by Konosuke Takeshita. And I'm calling it now. I want to see it. Konosuke Takeshita wins with a blue thunder bomb. How about that? This should be the match that after Don Callis screws Kenny Omega towards the end, Konosuke should win with the blue thunder bomb. And that will prove my point that a blue thunder bomb should win a freaking wrestling match. And I think Konosuke should be the one to do it. But I digress. Let's go ahead and see what y'all said here in the chat. I think Don Callis will tease Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, maybe join Don Callis. Kota Ibushi is never going to join that virus of the industry. I guarantee you that. If anything, Kota Ibushi is just fucking confused right now, his spot in the industry, let alone what Kenny Omega is doing. He probably wants Kenny Omega back in London with him shooting fireworks off his chest. Kota Ibushi is a different entity, simply put. Let's go ahead and see what I got to say about this match. The majority are actually going with the cleaner, 49-6. So again, seems to make sense. Is this a one-off? Does Kenny Omega finally get the better of Don Callis with his self-professed new son after portraying his nephew that goes all the way back to the time with the Golden Sheik when they were 10 years old in Winnipeg? I don't know. But for Don Callis to continue to have any merit, any momentum, any value towards his name, and for Konosuke Takeshita to have any stock, I think Konosuke needs to win this by hook and by crook, especially with this new dark persona. So yeah, I think Konosuke is going to shock us in Chicago. I'm going with Konosuke for the win. All right, folks. Again, I love briefly talking about you all, encouraging positive conversation in all things wrestling. I hope you all enjoyed this. Please like, comment, tell a friend. But that being said, there's been a lot of talk. Let's go ahead and talk about what has been officially now known as the main event. Because at the end of the day, you got to give the people what they want. And I truly think these two are going to do that. As some reason, I do not have a graphic. Botch. Oh, well. I mean, it talks to itself. For 31 straight singles wins, for 31 straight defenses, not pinned or submitted in singles action since last year, might I add, by Jay Lethal August 3rd. Overcoming Jay Lethal twice, Wheeler Yuta twice, a 20-man blackjack casino battle royale, 2 triple threats, including the likes of Roosh, Luchasaurus, Rey Fenix, Preston Vance. He has overcome Jake Hager. He's overcome Daniel Garcia. He overcome Penta, Ezio Miguel. He overcame The Butcher. He overcame Lance Archer. He overcame Buddy Matthews. And now for the first time ever in one-on-one action, he goes up against Jon Moxley. Not looking to break him mentally or physically, but spiritually. Not looking to just take his title, but take his soul. Orange Cassidy, the guy you didn't know, has become the workhorse this year, not named Gunther, in the industry, bar none. He has held this title now for less than a year since beating Pac last year in Canada, the second ever AEW International Champion, for 326 days. Everybody has tried to squeeze this guy dry and use every tactic possible, AR Fox and Jeff Jarrett included, and Swerve, to pry the International Championship away from him. He hates this, but he loves this more than anything else, and he will continue to defend the International Championship as long as he wants. Challenges Jon Moxley to bring more than a fork, as he claims he'll be the International Champion forever, because he is freshly squeezed and he doesn't have a catchphrase. Meanwhile, Jon Moxley, former AEW World Champion 3 times over, the guy that brought the title out of the dark post All Out last year, of course, held the AEW Championship now combined 347 days. Orange Cassidy is main eventing a pay-per-view. That goes to show the amount of stock this individual has put into this company and how much people have bought into him. And I think he's rightfully deserved it. He is not a comic character, especially after being the likes of Zack Sabre and Katsura Shibata. Just saying. He has proven what it means to be a workhorse and be a champion. But there comes a time where, again, you have to look at your physical capability versus your mentality. And while Orange Cassidy's mentality might be more complex than a Rubik's Cube, I think this is finally the time he is beaten to a pulp and the life force is drained out of him, courtesy of Jon Moxley in a Bulldog choke. It is time once again for a paradigm shift, and I think we end AEW All Out with a brand new, violent AEW International Champion. I think Jon Moxley ends the night as the new champ. I got Jon Moxley winning. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at what you all got to say here about this match. A bit of a partisan decision. 10 people were freshly squeezed, while 45 people are with Jon Moxley. Again, it's going to be a very hostile environment. There's no doubt about that. It's going to be a different feel, a different vibe. But at the end of the day, support the hard-working, mutually good talent that makes this company continue every week, that makes this show possible, and is looking to once again demonstrate what they're capable of for the name of competition in sports entertainment. But yeah, I got Jon Moxley winning. Let's go ahead and see. And you got a good point, Daniel. He definitely does a mind game. He is truly the invisible hand of the industry. Daniel here saying Jon Moxley becomes our new AEW International Champion. Jon Moxley will target the hand of Orange Cassidy. Everybody's targeted that hand, but we've also seen Orange Cassidy surprise people with crucifix, with mousetrap, with trap pin. He doesn't just need the orange punch. He's also used a beach break. Orange Cassidy is the guy that could catch you when you least expect it. And there was no further proof of that than what happened with him in Penta Ciampa this past Wednesday on Dynamite. Don't ever count Orange Cassidy out, but Jon Moxley is a competitor of a different level of intensity and violence. That's why I think he's winning. And let's see here. Jon Moxley will be the one who takes from Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy will be taking a break and then comes back on a quest for the AEW Championship. Ooh. Well, I mean, Orange Cassidy did have one previous chance at the AEW World Championship in triple threat at Double or Nothing against Kenny Omega and Pac. If it wasn't for Don Callis and the Elite at the time, the Good Brothers, very well could have had a freshly squeezed champion carrying that AEW World Championship in his backpack. Either way, he said the backpack constantly gets heavier and heavier. For the first time in over a year, it will finally be a lot lighter. Jon Moxley leaves AEW International Champion. Whew. Well, that being said, that concludes this stat card. Again, I'm very interested to see what happens tonight because, again, this will set up the fall season. As, of course, we have AEW Grand Slam. We have Wrestle Dream Army Antonio Inoki. We know AEW Full Gear is official. And I got to imagine they're going to have Final Battle. And that'll probably conclude out AEW 2023. Now, again, will they end strong? Will they burn in flames? Will they build on the ashes and rise once again? You tell me. And that video can start tonight with what happens in All Elite Wrestling. But we got about 3 hours till then. So thank you all for tuning in. Let's go ahead and look at some of your comments here on the forum. Going to be a hostile crowd for sure. Average AEW pay-per-view. $50 episode of Diamond. Not a bad card. AEW, yeah. Average me from a horrible show in my picks last week. Avenge me. I see. Botch. Hey, good luck. Nope. Let's freaking go. After full game predictions, I'm, again, James, enough of a love, brother. John might win, but Orange is going to find a way, and I want him to win. Well, way to hold out. Can't wait. And not a bad card. So, again, some mutually respectable, positive comments I see here. And again, I do appreciate you all for tuning in. So unless there's any super chats across Cassidy Studios, I think we will conclude, and I'll leave you to your day too. Just imagine when Cassidy does become the AEW champion. Imagine an orange strap. Yeah, I can see that. After all, got to get the people what they want. And Orange Cassidy's done that every week now for the better part of this last year. Respect. Like it or not, damn sure you should respect it. And I hope you respect this simple take on this solo expedition of City Predicting. Thank you once again for tuning in. Stay tuned for the upcoming City Predictings. And of course, this week, it's not letting up anytime soon. I, of course, have Victory Road, NXT No Mercy, Wrestle Dream, Fastlane, Battle for Glory, Full Gear, and Survivor Series currently now known. And of course, in conjunction with most of these, you'll find Jumping Up Live Watching events. Find me and JJ's call last night at Payback with special guest Jeff Meacham. We got All Out Tonight with me, James, and JJ. Then we go to Victory Road, Impact 1000, NXT No Mercy, Wrestle Dream, Fastlane, and Bound for Glory. I'm sure someone else might pop up in between. Again, if you want to hear ad nauseum what we all had to say about this incident of CM Punk versus the world and closing the bubble on this once and for all, please go check out last night's Open Mind Night, available across the Japanese multiverse of media. And again, so 1916, for all fans wrestling, shout out, of course, to my entire AEW family on Twitter and our social media platforms too. And as always, I keep you informed with prediction leagues, updates, forums. I simple hello, positively informed professional industry too. Find me on the Twitter. That is the banner right there. And Foster 1916. Follow the Simple YouTube. Let your voice be known in my simple assessments, also under the community tab at Foster 1916. And as of right now, you still have 3 hours to fill out the form and join the All Elite League if you haven't already. And again, AEW crew, let's freaking go, because All Elite brought us together, and we will continue to stay together through the industry, no matter what. And please check out my friends on our AEW View podcast, Impromptu. We just got done with 2 quick episodes recently, and we'll do one more this week following the fallout on AEW Dynamite and what transpires at AEW All Out. Shout out to the queen of AEW, Megan Cheetah, Kim Mary J, where Mary J continues to prove that J is worth more than gold. Please follow her on the social medias, folks, our continued wrestling journey, as she is just a little over a year in her career, and follow her home promotion in Wood Green Wrestling. Of course, that's WGW on your social media platforms, Hustle Wrestling. So again, follow her on her journey. Check out the newest affiliate of the Jimmy Media, Datilla, where it's always wrestling time with some Power Rangers content as well. Check out the Renegade, JJ Williams, and me and him call the action night with James. Follow Casting Studios, become a member today. Vote in the latest subscriber poll. See what match me and JJ call next, exclusively for members only. And stay tuned for me and JJ for a simple take, a double take on the 2 AEW pay-per-views, and also a simple take on WWE Payback. Whether they're all one show or 2 different shows, that remains to be seen too. But as always, I'd like to conclude, for I am but a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! As I wish to always encourage in you that there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters. Just fans with opinions with this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. Treasure your families. Always a pleasure, Daniel, to do this for y'all too. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It truly is as simple as that. With that being said, thank you so much once again for tuning in to the Simple Man's brand and his simple thoughts and overall his predictions. Please like, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hit the bell as videos live on demand on this channel and in the channels here in the multiverse of media. Excuse me. Again, I'm approaching my 5-year YouTube anniversary, so we'll see what happens in October. I might do a special live stream. Who knows? Hit the bell notes videos live or on demand. Of course, subscribe button. I assure you our passion, our content creativity is not laying out anytime soon. Until then, I'll see you virtually at ringside in the live Watch All Event booth from the multiverse of media tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as me and my affiliates will keep you in tune with everything that goes down tonight at AEW All Out. Until then, as always, I'd like to leave you, make a positive impact in life, and have a good night. I am AEW, but I also am simply forever grateful for professional wrestling too. Have a good day, folks.